Jephthah's Vow, a tale of triumph and tragedy. The sun was setting over the hills of Gilead, casting long shadows across the battlefield. Jephthah, a mighty warrior and the son of Gilead, stood at the front lines with his heart pounding in his chest. His troops, a ragtag assembly of desperate men, awaited his command. The Ammonites had ravaged their lands for too long, and tonight they would fight back. As Jephthah looked upon his men, he raised his hands to the heavens and made a solemn vow to God. "O Lord," he cried out, "if you deliver the Ammonites into my hands, whatever comes out of the doors of my house to meet me when I return in triumph will be yours, and I will sacrifice it as a burnt offering." With a roar, the battle commenced. Swords clashed, arrows flew, and cries of pain filled the air. Jephthah fought with a fury born of desperation and divine favor. The tide turned in favor of Gilead, and by dawn the Ammonites were defeated, their army scattered like chaff in the wind. Journeying home, Jephthah, weary but victorious, made his way back to his home in Mizpah. His heart was light with the thrill of victory, but his mind was heavy with the vow he had made. He hoped, prayed, that it would be an animal, perhaps a goat or a sheep, that would greet him first. Arrival at home, Jephthah approached his home. The door swung open. His heart skipped a beat as he saw a figure running towards him. To his horror, it was his daughter, his only child, dancing with joy and playing her tambourine, her face alight with happiness. "Father, Father, you have returned victorious," she exclaimed, her voice filled with pride and love. Jephthah's face paled and his heart broke within him. He tore his clothes in anguish and cried out, "Oh, my daughter, you have brought me to my knees. I have made a vow to the Lord that I cannot break." His daughter, understanding the gravity of his words, stopped and looked at him with wide, tear-filled eyes. "Father, what vow have you made?" Jephthah explained the vow, his voice trembling. "I vowed that whatever comes out of my house to meet me when I return would be sacrificed as a burnt offering to the Lord." He was in a dilemma. The reality of the situation settled over them like a dark cloud. Jephthah's daughter, brave and resolute, took a deep breath. "Father, if you have made a vow to the Lord, you must fulfill it. But grant me this one request. Let me go to the hills and weep with my friends for 2 months, for I will never marry." Jephthah, tears streaming down his face, nodded. "Go, my daughter," he said, his voice choked with sorrow. "Go and mourn your fate." For 2 months, Jephthah's daughter wandered the hills with her companions, mourning her lost future. The hills echoed with their lamentations, a tragic song of youth and dreams cut short. After 2 months, she returned to her father. Jephthah, his heart heavy with grief, prepared the altar. His daughter faced her fate with courage, accepting the consequences of her father's vow. Jephthah raised the knife, his hands trembling. "Forgive me," he whispered. With a final anguished cry, he fulfilled his vow to the Lord. The land of Gilead remembered Jephthah's daughter. Every year, the young women of Israel would go out for 4 days to commemorate the daughter of Jephthah, who was sacrificed because of her father's vow. Jephthah, the warrior who delivered his people, lived the rest of his days in the shadow of his vow. His story became a solemn reminder of the weight of promises made to God and the devastating consequences they can bring. In the annals of history, Jephthah's vow remains a powerful and tragic tale of faith, sacrifice, and the dire repercussions of hasty promises. Let it be a lesson that in our moments of desperation, we must choose our words carefully, for even the most noble of intentions can lead to the most heart-wrenching outcomes. Thank you for watching. If you found this story moving, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales from history and legend.